Namaste सभी को. This video I will be taking the topic Goodwill, belonging to the partnership, continuing the same partnership unit from class 12th accountancy. So Goodwill, what is a Goodwill? The first thing, any good reputation, any good reputation of any firm or business enterprises is called Goodwill. If a firm is known for its better position or good quality product or for good services, then we are talking about its goodwill. Now, in accountancy, from the view of accountancy, goodwill can be calculated, right? It is considered as a, if I talk about the nature, it is considered as an intangible asset. Intangible assets are those assets which cannot be seen or touched, but their values can be mentioned or they can be calculated. Therefore, goodwill is an intangible asset. The reason it cannot be seen or touched, but it is existence is there. It is mentioned in the balance sheet also. Now, one question arises: what is a fictitious asset, and is goodwill a fictitious asset? So, if I talk about the fictitious asset are basically the fake assets. That means they are not in the physical. They do not have a physical existence. Fictitious asset. Now, if I take the example, that example includes patent, copyright, goodwill also included as an example. But goodwill is not a fictitious asset because the characteristic of a fictitious asset, it is basically a expenditure. It is a deferred revenue expenditure. It is termed as a deferred revenue expenditure, which is incurred with the thought or with this hope that it will going to give good returns in the long run. For example, when any business is incorporated or when any business is started, the initial expenses, heavy expenses which are incurred to start a business, that all expenses are considered as a fictitious asset. These are actually the unclaimed expenses. Okay, so these expenses are incurred with this view that it is going to give us a good return in the long run. But goodwill by nature, it is not an expense. It is created over, or it is built, it is created or built over a period of time. So it is not an expense. Therefore, though it do not have any physical existence, which is one of the characteristics of fictitious asset, but it is not a fictitious asset. The reason goodwill is not an expense. Whereas in fictitious assets, those expenses are included which do not have a physical existence, like copyright, patent, right? Then goodwill, just an example. But goodwill actually is not a fictitious asset. The reason goodwill is not an expense. Under fictitious assets, all expenses are included. What sort of expenses? The deferred revenue expenditures. That means those expenses which are incurred with a view which is going to benefit the firm in a long run. So, now why the goodwill occur? Why it is? Why it arises? What are the factors that gives goodwill? Now, see, any factor that helps to earn high profit, okay, any factor that leads to earn high profit, those all factors are considered as a goodwill. Sometimes the position of firm is at such a position, the position also matters. Now, say for if any business firm is located at such place which is where the residential colonies are very near, or maybe the commercial complexes are placed in such a way or such a I would say the landmarks where the residential positions are good, right? So sometimes positions also matters a lot. Sometimes the quality matters, the type of quality product they are giving, the services, the quality services they are giving. Okay, then sometimes monopoly means a single seller. These are the factors actually which leads or which helps to earn high profit. So any factor which helps to earn high profit, those are all the reason behind earning goodwill. So goodwill is a good reputation of a firm, and good reputation is built based on the position, their services, their quality products, their contacts, networks. Okay, now types of goodwill. There are two types of goodwill: purchase goodwill and non purchase goodwill, alternatively self generated goodwill. So purchase goodwill as the name itself suggests, purchase. That means you are purchasing, right? Now, for example, business of firm A has purchased firm C. In that case, firm A is bound to pay some amount to firm C because they are purchasing firm C. So here the goodwill, how to calculate goodwill? The formula for calculating goodwill will be the purchase price minus net assets. So firm A will be paying a purchase price. Okay, because firm A is purchasing firm C, for that some price definitely must have been negotiated among these two firms, right, between these two firms. So in that case, purchase price minus net asset is equal to goodwill. Net asset means assets minus liability. So firm C, which is ready to be sold, the firm C, assets minus liability, whatever the value is coming. Now if the purchase price is greater than the net assets, it gives goodwill. That means you are paying a high amount, right, higher than the net assets because of the goodwill. That is a purchase goodwill. Self generated goodwill is also known as a inherent goodwill. Here it is built over a period of time, or why it is built? Because of some management efficiencies and some good tactics or some of the good qualities. It is all internally built goodwill over a period of time. It is not purchased, but it is built over the period of time by the management, some key managerial professionals, or with the good qualities and some good practices. Through these goodwills are built up. Definitely goodwill, if I say, that means the fair value of asset should be greater, you know, the purchase price should be greater than the fair value of the assets. Now, what are the methods of calculation of goodwill? So we have got 5 methods: simple average profit method, weighted average profit method, super profit method, capitalization of average profit method, and capitalization of super profit method. So here I will be explaining you the simple average profit method. What are the steps how to calculate simple average profit method? So here in this question you will be given some profit of based on some years. Now you need to remember that the profit you have to calculate, it should be normal profit. Normal profit means if any type of abnormal gain or any type of abnormal loss is given, those should be neglected. Now neglected in the sense, sometimes it happens in a profit abnormal gain is included, so that abnormal gain should be deducted, and sometimes it is given in some of the profit abnormal loss incurred, so that abnormal loss should be added. Abnormal gain must be deducted, abnormal loss must be added. In that way you will get simple profit, है ना? After that, the profit which you have calculated, that should be divided by the number of years as mentioned in the question. After dividing the profit you will get the simple average. Now this simple average or average profit must be multiplied with the number of purchase year, which will also be mentioned in the question. So this way you will get the goodwill. Now let's see the question. Question number 1, here you are given year ending 31st March 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. And the profits are also given 20,000, 25,000, 40,000, 80,000 and 1,20,000. Question further says March 2011. That means if you see the amount, March of 11 is 25,000. There is a gain of 5,000 on sale of machine. And in March 2013, the profit is 80,000, right? In that case, a compensation of 20,000 paid to the worker. So this 2011 gain is your abnormal gain, and this compensation becomes your abnormal loss. Now question is asking you to calculate goodwill based on the 4-year purchase. So how to start the question? You make this 4 columns as I made mentioned. First column the year, second column the profits, third is your adjustments, and fourth is the final amount. So 2010, no adjustment is there, 20,000 will be written as it is in the fourth column. In 2011, as mentioned in the question, 5,000 sale of machine, so that will be treated as an abnormal gain. Therefore, as I already mentioned, abnormal gain must be deducted. Therefore, this 5,000 will be deducted. The final amount becomes 20,000. 2012, 40,000. Since there is no adjustment, 40,000 will be written as it is. In 2013, 80,000. But 20,000 has been paid as a compensation, which will be treated as an abnormal loss. As I mentioned earlier, abnormal loss must be added. Therefore, 80,000 plus 20,000 gives you 1 lakh. And 2014, since no adjustment, therefore 1,20,000 will be written as it is. Now, when you add up all the amount in the fourth column, you will get 3 lakhs. This is your simple profit, right? Now this simple profit must be divided with the number of years mentioned in the question. So the number of year is 5, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. That means 5. So 3 lakh divided by 5 gives you 60,000. Here you got your average profit. After that, to calculate goodwill, this average profit must be multiplied with the number of purchase year, which is mentioned in the question as 4. Therefore 60,000 multiplied with 4 gives you 2,40,000. One another question is asking you to calculate goodwill year and profit and loss given. Goodwill is equal to the 4-year purchase of average profit of last 5 years. So the 4-year is your purchase. So the first step will be to add all the profit to calculate the simple profit. Remember to deduct the losses and add all the profit. Since in this question no adjustment is given, that means there is no adjustment of abnormal gain or abnormal loss. So you add up all the profits, 25,000, 40,000, deduct 15,000 as it is a loss, then again add 80,000 and 1 lakh. This way you will get 2,30,000. Now calculate simple average by divided by 5. Why you are dividing it by 5? The reason, total number of year is 5. So when you divide 2,30,000 by 5, you will get 46,000. This 46,000 is your simple average. Now to calculate goodwill, this average profit must be multiplied with the number of purchase year, which is 4 as mentioned in the question. So you will get 1,84,000 as your goodwill.